Hi there, Force here. Just a brief preface to what you're about to hear. I may or may not have forgotten to exclude the background stream music from the recording for this and the next episode of the podcast. So, the music you hear in the background is music by Adrian von Ziegler. It has been said by him in his comments section and in his descriptions that it is free to use for content creation such as this, so there shouldn't be any issues. I mean, I'm allowed to use it on stream, but I wanted you guys all to know, in case you don't read the description or wherever else I put the thing, that Adrian von Ziegler on YouTube, go look him up. He does amazing fucking music, fantasy, metal, all sorts of stuff. Just go give it a listen. Seeing as I made the mistake, let's start with a little bit of a blooper.
Sure thing. But now I can also just actually swap the proper backgrounds.
God, what the fuck happened to your mic?
Did something happen to my mic?
Yeah, the moment I started recording. Hold on. Go.
Hello? Wait. I can hear. That's the same crackle effect that I can hear on your. Okay, so something's fucked, and I think it's on my end because I seem to be the only source of this effect.
It's all right. You're a robot. It's par for the course. So, we are here to do data upload. Data upload is, as always, just like a little podcast thing that's technically not a podcast yet because I haven't actually gone through the fucking process of getting an RSS feed, because fuck that.
What the fuck are RSS feeds?
It's basically like an authentication method for hosting for Spotify, the way Spotify does it. So it's like a text file that gets updated. like you have a stream key. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the same thing, but you have to have it in order to basically post anything to Spotify. Post a podcast to Spotify, you need a podcast RSS feed, which requires you have either your own hosting method or like pay for a hosting service.
That sounds insane to me. I thought it was just uploaded audio file.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting to, but it's all right. I can just upload these on YouTube for now, and then...
Yep, and I think Soundcloud is just upload.
Yep, Soundcloud.
File.
I can upload them wherever we can, and I'll eventually get around to transplanting them to Spotify. Maybe. So... And if I don't, it's not like you couldn't do it if you ever decided. You're like, you know what, we put a lot of work into this, I want to get the fucking shit done.
Yeah.
So, for data upload, what we usually do is you bring usually an SCP, and then I bring my D&D stuff, or some D&D stuff. We had mentioned, I don't know if you actually looked into any SCP stuff, but we had mentioned last week going through the list of anomalous items.
Oh, this might actually be kind of funny. Is 914 an anomalous item?
So the SCPs are not considered anomalous items. There's a list of anomalous items, or a log of anomalous items, which are specifically like these big fucking lists of just items that are not important enough to warrant being given their own SCP thing, or not dangerous enough, or not whatever. They're just like either minorly annoying or weird, or you know what I mean. They don't warrant a full SCP log file, which a lot of some Series 1 SCPs could probably be in log of anomalous items, but it's basically just a list of like fucking shit that people make up.
Just random items that seem to have SCP-like properties, but don't warrant a classification.
This is perfect. A dog, and then it shows like a picture of a dog. When directly described in any digital text format, this description will immediately be replaced with a JPEG image of another picture of the dog, varying in appearance and quality.
This sounds like a meme, dog.
It is! It's just a meme!
Yep.
Current notice. Her name is Elsie. Note from Dr. Wepler. She's stored in low security animal containment unit at Site 17. Anyways, I thought this would be fun to go through, just like a bunch of these, because there's literally like this page of 200 or 300
I actually can't
of
find
them.
Volume 1. I can only see Volume 2 and 3.
That's because it's not called Volume 1, it's called just Log of Anomalous Items. Which
Huh.
if I take this and pop this here, boop.
Oh, yep, there it is.
But if you had an SCP you want to do, we could do that. So
I'm done with either, because I just
Why?
did briefly look up 914.
hello. Stream.
Hello?
I guess we're just frozen on stream now.
Oh. This is the cursed stream, the
They can
technical
still-
issues.
They can still hear us. Just, yeah. Nope.
So what you're
Yeah.
saying is we're in true podcast mode now.
I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know what's happening here. We need to do just chatting. Then we need to do this to data upload coming in. And then we need to do this to data upload podcast. SCP/DND/other things we happen to
Slash
find.
schizophrenia.
What?
Slash
Sir.
schizophrenia. Oh.
Slash
Well, I'm sorry, that's
ADD.
just my condition. That one's not allowed.
Yeah, there we go. All right. I still don't know why we're frozen on there. We're not frozen on here. You guys can see our faces here if I do this. Hi. Just whatever reason
Yeah,
those ones
so-
over there are frozen.
The other versions, to ignore them, alright? The decrepit versions.
you can even see the yellow line of this capturing the stream. So that's nice.
I guess if you deactivated and reactivated them, that might work, but... Oh, wait, Force. You can get an RSS feed by hosting your thing on SoundCloud. So upload it to SoundCloud normally, and from there, it'll give you an RSS feed.
Okie dokie. Well, here we go. We're now invisible, ladies and gentlemen, because we
How the fuck
cannot...
did that happen?
I've intentionally taken us off because we can't... We're frozen. So,
Oh, yeah.
I suppose I could Control Z a bunch.
Wait, that means I can use my not safe for work background.
Wait. By deleting them and Control Zing them back onto the stream, it's worked.
This is alchemy. This is truly cursed alchemy. Okay, look, we're both experimenting with new technology.
Hold on,
Let's not worry about it too much.
Hold on.
Oh, you're back in the supermarket. Hang on, let me transition to my supermarket. I can get in there, but now corporeal.
Every now and then
Discord
I get a
them.
little bit stronger, and there's something weird around. Why are we here? Only to
Just
suffer?
to suffer? Oh my god, Discord, the movie is an actual fucking movie? I wish I had something to drink. I feel like I need a shot of alcohol after witnessing that.
Oh, this isn't alcohol. This is an invisible can.
Ah, it's boomer fuel.
God damn it. I say I'm basically a boomer now.
Yep, you're fucking decrepit.
I was having this conversation with my dad. He was talking about some of his like health conditions he's been dealing with, and then I started talking about some of mine, and we were like 15 minutes in. I'm like, God damn it, I'm getting old. I'm having conversations with, not 15 minutes, we're like 50 minutes in. And I'm like, God damn it, I'm getting old. I'm having conversations about my health with my dad.
Yep.
What is wrong with me?
I have the soul of a boomer, despite being trapped in the body of a digital character, which is also a zoomer. I feel every time I look back on all the things that, oh hey, I enjoyed that when I was a kid. Oh god, that came out 10 years ago.
We're frozen again, by the way.
No, okay. I'm trying to find that fucking that Discord background.
Well,
Whatever.
nobody's gonna
I'll
see.
just stay
So shall we just?
Let's just get started.
You want to just popcorn alternate between them, see how many we can get through?
Yeah, sure. Which log do you want to start with? The very first one? The unbreakable lamp?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, age before beauty.
You guys can't see this, but I'm giving him a look.
And I winked at him.
I can't see that because the screen's frozen. And I have to
You're
have my
in
monitor.
too?
No, I have to have my stream monitor over so I can see chat and all the fucking numbers. I don't have the call up.
I'm more than a number 2 force.
Anyways. Item description. An unbreakable lamp. Date of recovery blank blank of blank blank of blank 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 blank. Blank?
Question mark blank?
Okay, no, there's only 4 numbers there. Location of recovery blank blank. Current status kept in Dr. Wright's office in site blank. Notes, this is one of the first items categorized as anomalous and denied full SCP classification due to lack of value in further research and little need for special containment. I feel like figuring out why a lamp is unbreakable, why an object is unbreakable at all is valuable.
I guess they just... If it's only the lamp, then I guess it's not too useful, unless you need a weapon. Because I would assume you could now move that at immeasurable velocities and it would just never break. You could crack the planet with that fucking lamp.
Yep. Pretty much what I was thinking.
A penny, which when flipped will always land heads up. Date of recovery redacted. Location of recovery also redacted. Current status shipped off to permanent storage. Notes: can't believe that none of the researchers kept this to win bets with. I mean, really, ultimate cheat penny would probably get you killed, but ultimate cheat penny.
To be fair, when you flip a coin, you usually flip a quarter. You don't flip a penny.
They would just probably outlaw pennies the moment they figured out this thing exists.
Yeah, pretty much. Item description. A number 2 pencil, which will balance at a 32-degree angle for approximately 3 hours before ceasing anomalous behavior. Date of recovery? Redacted. Location of recovery? Redacted. Current status? Incinerated. Notes. I'm not even sure why this was an anomaly. Maybe it just had a very flat tip. Notice. Destroying anomalous items without appropriate permission is a major violation of Foundation policy. See that this does not occur again. Site director, blank blank.
What? Hey, what did poor pencil do?
It was anomalous. Somebody
Maybe
probably
destroy.
Somebody probably broke it. It was like, I incinerated it. Whoop.
Oops, I just thought it was a normal number 2 pencil. It turns out it was the end of the world when incinerated SCP pencil.
Oh my god. Can we just...
An item description. A painting, possibly a landscape, records are unclear, that gave a mild case of diaphragmic spasms or hiccups to anyone who saw it. Date of recovery redacted. Location of recovery also redacted. Current status incinerated. Notes: this would obviously be a pain to work with, but shouldn't they have at least tried to see how it worked? Note: destroying anomalous items without site permission is a major violation of Foundation policy. See that this does not occur again. Site director Redact and Ted.
Dr. Redact Ted. Oh my god. Alright, item description. Normal garden slugs, whose trail has the exact same chemical composition and taste as commercial brand ranch dressing. They also appear to reproduce by binary fission every week. Date of recovery?
Oh.
Redacted. Location of recovery? Redacted. Current status. Housed in a wildlife observation deck. Excess entities incinerated.
Please. Well, actually, yeah, considering that they reproduce that way, it's okay if you incinerate them.
So they just double in number every fucking week.
Also through fucking fission. So I imagine it's a lot of excess energy for your ranch dressing slugs.
Yep. The bright side, you could just let them crawl over your food and be delicious.
I wonder what the slug itself tastes like.
Alright, your turn.
I'm kind of hungry. A small rock emits a bright white light from an unknown source, otherwise unremarkable. Date of recovery, redacted. Location of recovery, I'll give you a guess. It rhymes with redacted. Current status, currently in possession of Dr. Light. Notes, no radiation, no signs of life, nothing. If nothing else, it's a reminder of the inexplicable nature of the universe. This is just like a light spell from Skyrim.
Yep. Or, you know, D&D.
D&D as well.
This is my favorite thing. This is part of why I like these. Is you can literally just make these fucking D&D like meme items and shit like that.
I want this to just be like anomalous gun. No, it is just a gun, but it's not allowed to have bullets.
Item description: a 1964 Smith & Wesson 44
Oh my
Magnum
God.
revolver.
I didn't read ahead. I didn't
I
see that
know.
was the next one.
I know. When any ammunition is fired from the third chamber, an unidentified male voice will shout, "Nice shot!"
I love this. I love this one.
Date of recovery: 0903, redacted. Location of recovery: Wichita, Kansas, USA. Current status: in a storage at Site 19's Vintage Weapons Dispository. Notes: perfectly serviceable and well maintained aside from the anomaly. Accuracy or even proficiency with the firearm is not required for the anomaly to function. Voice sounds whether or not the shot is, in fact, nice.
Nice. Oh, it's just a nice shot. Like he's actually just kind. He's giving you a pep talk, even if your aim's garbage.
Yeah. Alright. Your turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about that revolver. A wired clothes hanger, only long sleeve, blue. Men's dress shirts with collar sizes between 38.1 centimeters and 40 centimeters can be successfully hung upon it. All other clothing articles simply drop off to the floor when the hanger is employed. Date of recovery: 9/15, redacted. Location of recovery: Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. I didn't expect to read the word Nova Scotia today. Gotta say that.
I've never heard anybody have that much difficulty with the word Nova Scotia.
Because I didn't expect to read it. I'm like, okay, it's like a Nova something. Wait, it's just Nova Scotia. I didn't know it wasn't one word, to be honest.
Okay, this one is actually one of my favorites. I want this, like, no lie. Item description: a nuclear snow globe. When shaken, instead of
it's in
falling
storage,
snow, it shows a miniature-scale nuclear explosion. It emits no radiation, sound, or force, and the explosion pattern changes every shake. After effects such as radioactive snow and black rain have been observed. At random intervals, the snow globe will contain a small shed, car, or truck, which reacts to the explosion. Date of recovery: redacted. Location of recovery: Sokroveno, Russia. Current status: in storage. And I want that. That sounds like such a cool, like, little, like, nerd thing.
It is adorable. Do you think I'd get in trouble with the Foundation if I started recreating anomalous items?
The reason I found this is because I created a my OC Do Not Steal, which was a character called Blueprint who can replicate anomalous items and the effects of anomalous items onto other items. So his whole if he touches it, he has to touch it to blueprint it. That's why it's called Blueprint. And then he just knows the anomalous item, its effects, how it works, and can to some degree modify them, but then can also like transplant them and do stuff. So I've been looking through this list for like he gets captured, and these are like the early things that they test his ability on because they don't want to test him with anything too big. Even though he comes off as like, here we go, story time. So Blueprint originally is kidnapped, or is taken in by the Foundation. I'm gonna see if I can't reset R. I have managed to successfully trick the stream temporarily into working properly. So, anyways, as I was discussing, so Blueprint
Talk about your OC.
Is an anomalous entity who has the capability, as already described, to essentially, when he touches any object, it's not just anomalous objects, when he touches any object, he can blueprint the object, he knows generally how it functions, what its purpose is, and can modify it to varying degrees based on other things he's blueprinted in the past. So this includes mundane items such as firearms. He can just kind of, if he's touched a bullet, he can just replicate bullets straight into firearms, so he can just infinitely shoot and stuff like that.
Damn.
But the premise is that Blueprint, to test anomalous responses, to see if there were any sort of like anomalous entities, robbed 5 banks and murdered a bunch of people. And so
As you do.
the foundation figures him out and picks him up because the cops can't figure it out because this guy comes in with fucking this guy comes in Blueprint outside of this comes in and scouts out the place and figures out what it's like by just being there regularly, but then walks kind of off screen and then blueprints a bunch of like mask, armor, hoodie shit out of sight of anybody and out of like line of sight of cameras, and then comes back in like in such a short time that they're like, there's no way this could be the guy. You know what I mean?
Because he just immediately instantiates all of his clothing and his bank robbing gear. I'm kind of curious if he could copy people too.
This is part of it. Is he basically he does this a whole bunch, and then they come in and they raid him. They raid his facility or raid his home, and they take him away. They put him into containment, and he shows like a little bit of hard assery of like, I refuse to be called by your number, and just threatens to shoot anybody who calls him by anything that's not a number, and kills one researcher because they refuse to call him by anything but his SCP number. And so they get permission to call him by his name. And then he basically
Otherwise he gets very angry.
He's like, I'm willing to work with you. It's not even so much that he gets angry, it's just like he refuses to be given an identification that dehumanizes him, even though he's murdered several people.
He gets very angry when a SCP number gets very angry when referred to as a number. So in such his presence,
becomes hostile. SCP XXX becomes hostile if referred to as SCP XXX or anything other than their actual birth given denomination. As such, part of containment procedure is call them by their birth given denomination, basically.
Yes.
But essentially, over time, he's like, "I'll work with you guys," and they like are like, he's like, I'd work with you. I'd help you catch these anomalies and stuff like this, and you guys just pay me, and I'll like be a contractor for you and stuff. It's like constantly trying to like get them to like work with him, and then over the course of several tests, as he becomes slowly to realize that they're just not gonna fucking let me go. He's hiding exactly how effective his capabilities are, but he can essentially like modify the numerical values of things, modify the reference values of things, so like that coin that always lands on heads, he can make it always lands on tails instead, or he can make it always land on side instead. You know what I mean?
He just has access to the property menu of everything.
Yeah. And then he can copy and paste properties and edit them, and so eventually he gets frustrated and breaches containment, attempts to leave, kills a few security officers on his way out before he's recontained, to which he's very angry, and they respond by starting to strap him down during testing. To wit, he responds by slowly over time, like, because the way his blueprint works is anything which is recognized in the human conscious as a singular object can be blueprinted. So he can blueprint an entire structure if everyone recognizes this as a building. It is part of the same building. So he blueprints the layout of the facility. And instead of the next time he does his containment breach, instead of going straight for the exit, he makes it sound like that's what he's going to do, but he instead like looks for other SCP objects in containment and starts blueprinting SCP objects in containment and stuff like that.
Just massively counterfeiting SCP objects.
Yeah, and then keeps like willingly surrendering, so his like deaths counts go down. Always killing like a couple people here and there just to like make it clear that he's not happy, basically, until eventually he's blueprinted enough, and you'll see some of the. I'll point out some of the ones that I like in here. Like I have a notepad with him, but some of the ones that I like that he's got in here and how he edits them for various purposes, if that's interesting at all. But the other thing he can do is when he touches skin to skin a person, he can blueprint them. He can't replicate biological substances, excluding things like water, which are primarily chemical compounds, even though they're like viewed as biological. You know what I mean?
Water by itself isn't, but biology's complicated.
Yeah.
What is alive?
It's basically like, do you consider this a biological substance? Then he can't. That probably goes on the same mainframe of like conscious thought. Is like, do we consider this biological or do we consider this non-biological? He can do non-biological stuff. He can replicate. He can't replicate the effects or anomalous abilities of biological things, but he can gain immunity to hazardous effects. His body sort of like auto defense immunizing to like cognito hazards and stuff. So like it basically prevents him from some very serious nasty business. One of my favorite things is because of the way I've writ this, it's not so much that he's bending reality, which is this SCP thing as reality benders, but sort of that he's changing the conscious awareness of something, if that makes sense. So he's just like when reality, they have reality anchors in the SCP universe, and the reality anchors, the way they work is they like maintain reality within an area, and so eventually, they employ reality anchors against this guy, but because of the way he functions, I like the idea that it doesn't fully function. So it like slows down his ability to create larger things, or like, and limits his capacity of how much he can create at once, but it doesn't like stop him from just making shit, so he never stops from containment breaching. Eventually he breaches containment completely, having gained access to SCP Foundation databases, and goes hunting for a more important SCP Foundation facility where they are much more prepared for dangerous anomalous entities, and capture him with minimal casualties, and then put him in a box. And over the course of several containment breach attempts, he gets access to more and more crazy shit that they eventually just like can't contain him, and just agree to like, yeah, we'll pay you to work for us.
I wonder if they would figure out if he's intentionally soft breaking out just to keep cloning and having access to more items.
Yeah, this is the thing that they figure out, but he's a smart boy, and like the new SCP items and stuff he gives him new ways of maneuvering around bases and manipulating people and stuff like that. The other fun concept that I had that I don't know if I'm actually going to make core to it is basically as he blueprints more things, his capabilities grow. So the more blueprints he has, the more anomalous effects he has, the larger he can influence effects that he already knows. So
that works because it's Lego stacking. Let's say he has the number 2 pencil ability and the penny. Well, now he can make the penny have the number 2 pencil's ability.
Yeah,
you can just stack more effects you know of.
It's less of that and more of like the pencil is 32 degrees. He could by default alter it like 1 degree. But then when he gets the penny, he can alter it like another 0.1 degree. And so once he's got like 10 other things, he can now alter it 2 degrees in either direction.
Now, so the extent of which he can alter an effect, increase it. Basically, you're giving him a passive power level increase the more items he picks up.
The premise is based on the idea that he is detailing and understanding the rules of reality. And so by expanding his knowledge, the coding database, essentially, of reality, he can more effectively change those rules. To the degree where eventually, I imagine he can replicate biological anomalous effects and then eventually biological things, but like...
It depends on the method of which his abilities are used on whether or not a reality anchor would be effective. If it's more conceptual, then a reality anchor would be less effective. If it's still hard in reality manipulation, then the reality anchor would still probably force him to be stable.
Reality anchors work based on how you how you want them to work in terms of what is reality. So theoretically, like, yeah. Anyways, that's my OC. Don't steal.
Don't worry, just put it out there with like no copyright protection. Don't worry, no one will steal that.
The idea is essentially that he becomes a thaumiel entity who helps them, and over the course of several years of actual, like, he legitimately helps them, like mellows out and starts like helping people out. And there's one SCP of like the ghost girl who's like this 3-year-old girl who, if anybody over her age sees her, they get violently aggressive towards her and try and kill her. But when they try and kill her or when they cause her any harm, that harm is instead inflicted upon them and they die.
Wow, that's like the ultimate Uno reverse card self-defense. I'm going to
Yep.
force you to attack me, but joke's on you. You just do damage to yourself.
Well, she's 3, and also she does not notice people who are afflicted by her ability, so she's just like playing games and somebody sees her and just tries to kill her and just dies, and then she's like, oh, there's a dead body here, okay. But
Weird aggro flex, okay.
In my head, that's like he could, in theory, blindfolded get close enough to like put his hand on her shoulder and then become immune to her effect, and basically just like she has a human being she can speak to. Like an adult who can serve as a responsibility, like role model figure. I'm like, oh,
Ideally, remove the effect too.
That's wholesome.
But there's something worrying about moving SCP effects around.
That is one detail. He cannot directly edit the object he blueprinted. He can only edit things he's replicated or created in his mind.
Okay.
So the original is always going to be the same, but he can make copies that are like, yeah. Anyways, your turn. You have a squirrel.
Oh yeah, squirrel which constantly moves slower than normal, even when jumping, falling, similar to slow motion video footage. Redacted data recovery, but location recovery is redacted family campgrounds redacted. Current status housed in the wildlife observation deck. That's a molasses squirrel. Out of curiosity, if you flicked it, would it still move in slow motion?
In theory, yeah.
If it was exploded, would it still move in slow motion?
In theory, yeah.
If you ate it, would it move in slow motion inside of your stomach?
It would, but you're not slowed down, so in theory you would be like...
World's worst indigestion?
Well, because you're breaking it down and then your body and your cells are acting upon it to move it. Like, I imagine if you kicked it, it would carry as far as the edge of your foot up to your foot speed because your foot is moving it. It's not moving itself. And then after that, it just slow motion flies through the air and reacts to the kick. You know what I mean? Like its reaction to being kicked would be...
I guess like a mass of its matter. How much can you move it? Can you move it in normal motion, or would it turn things it comes into contact with into also being in slow motion?
I assume you can move it because if it touched things and those things went in slow motion, this would be an SCP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. Cheap plastic ping pong ball, though.
A cheap plastic ping pong ball that would change from red to green twice daily. Is found in 2000 sometime, otherwise redacted, and it was found in California, USA. It is currently located under a locker in storage room 19553B. Maintenance team required to extract object.
It's just red light, green light.
No, the status is funny because it suggests that they were playing with it and it fell beneath a locker and it's stuck. And the maintenance team needs to go and get it. So they put in a maintenance request for somebody. Alright, your turn.
A white cowboy hat. Anyone wearing this hat is compelled to whoop and box dance uncontrollably. It's the Hootenanny hat. It was date recovered 2000 something. Location of recovery, redacted Texas. Of course it was in Texas. Current status, contained in standard anomalous object locker, and brought out during staff birthday parties.
You get to wear the Hootenanny hat for the day. Enjoy.
Oh no! I'm allergic to hootenannying. Too bad.
Alright, I think you'll like this one. It's a 6-sided dice that can occasionally land on a 7, found in the 1900s. The Gaming Society in Blank of Maryland. Current status being used for research by Dr. McCallum. Notes: research my ass, he's just using the damn thing to cheat on a sneak attack damage. Dr. Morgan.
It's a 7. Fuck you. You're using that die again, aren't you? What? It's legal though.
No, it's not. It's a D6. It can't roll above a 6. This is how I rule as DM. Fuck you.
It is a D6 and it rolled a 7. Explain.
Alright.
It doesn't mean it can't roll a 1 though. Item description. 500 caliber blank sidearm that discharges all...
Up one.
Oops. C redacted C, branded and stylized cola glass. Any liquid drunk from the glass is reported to take like P redacted brand cola. Date of recovery ultra redacted. Location of recovery site 19. Current status destroyed after being dropped by canteen worker. Redacted.
For those people who can't see it to get the joke, it's Coca-Cola branded cola glass that makes things taste like Pepsi.
Yep. I think Pepsi is more sugary. I think that is just the difference.
All right. A 500 caliber sidearm, blank sidearm that discharges all loaded cartridges as if they were blanks. Date and location of recovery are both redacted, and it is in storage.
Shooting blanks. Maybe it's just a prop gun. Anyone thought of that?
The perfect prop gun.
Mm-hmm.
You put in
Because
real ammunition and it fires out blanks, yeah.
Which is the inverse of how actual prop guns typically work. They're real guns, you just put blanks in them. A glass paperweight, which constantly floats exactly 7 meters above any given surface. It took me real hard. 7 centimeters?
Yep.
Oh, what did I say?
Meters.
Oh. My bad.
Like 20
That's very
feet
different.
above the fucking... Yeah. How do you reach that?
You don't? Date of recovery, redacted, but the location of recovery was redacted funeral home in redacted. Current status, shattered and bizarre a cappella incident. Dr. McCallum is currently being questioned.
Fucking
How
McCallum.
do you even shatter it? Oh, sound can penetrate it. There we go. I was like, what is a cappella again? Oh.
Yep. Item description: a drinking glass that visually appears to be able to hold a pint, 568 milliliters of fluid, but overflows when more than 35 milliliters is poured into it. It was found in 1998 in Illinois and is in storage. There you go.
Oh, hey, this one's saucy. A series of pornographic VHS tapes that, when rewound, will continually change actor sets and methods of coitus. All appear to be related to actual film movies, though the quality is low. This is the infinite porn tape! Date of recovery.
Literally, this is one that Blueprint has as a request for cooperation early on. Except he changes the though the quality is low to though the quality is perfect. And a series of pornographic VHS tapes to a series of pornographic DVD tapes.
Wait, the date of recovery is sometime in the 1900s.
Yes, so, pause.
Right. Now back to these pornographic VHS tapes. I would assume low quality is like 1440p. It's gotta be. If you can upgrade it to at least 1080, this is just perfect. You end all human conflict ever. This is just the perfect item. Missing, presumed lost, recently recovered in the possession of Dr. Redacted. No, it's in storage. It's just in storage. Trust me, guys.
This is in the like list of things I wrote out like doctor's notes and stuff like that as like a joke, like pretending like I'm writing an SCP article type thing, and this was listed as he can change the quality so it's perfect regardless of what it's played on. So if you play it on a really, really high quality thing, it's the highest quality you can be on that thing. But also he was requested he has been requested to replicate these on multiple occasions by staff, which he's done for like 20-30 bucks here and there, you know.
You definitely both upcharge. My one critique would be, what point of view are these VHS tapes recorded at?
I mean, the idea is that they're basically actual filmed movies from the same viewpoints and stuff, except sex.
Ah, okay. So, the only ones that are valuable are POV. Otherwise, I can just sell these. If you could create immersive POV sims, now you actually end all world hunger.
And if you need something relatively easy hidden, I recommend just doing OBS. Because
OBS Studio.
Slobs is not that different. They're very similar. It's just Slobs just looks a little bit prettier. Like this is how my OBS looks right here. And I did this in like an hour with my scenes here, and just same source information, all the same stuff. It just requires you like transplanting it over and recreating filters and stuff like that.
Yep. Did you use OBS Live?
Good too. No. Don't know what that
Oh,
is.
okay. OBS Live is just a plugin for OBS Studio that gives it a lot of built-in functionality, but isn't like as heavy or weird as Slobs is. Plus, you can still use plugins. Basically, it just does a bunch of stuff for you.
All right. Well, continuing onwards. I think you did the porn, so
Yep.
a 76 centimeter tall statue of a clown. In a room where it was placed, a giggling sound will be noted whenever the lights are turned off. This was found in 0516 of 2000 something, and found in Germany. The current status: shot approximately 15 times with 9mm sidearm by Agent Blank. Agent reprimanded. No anomalous properties recorded in the remains.
The agent should not have been reprimanded. He should have been celebrated. This thing does deserve to be destroyed.
Alright, your turn.
An adult male capybara, Hydrochius hydraceus, originally located several thousand miles away from the natural habitat of the species, was bright blue and with bright blue and green fur. Date of recovery, redacted, 2000 redacted. Location of recovery, redacted, Wisconsin, my favorite town. Current status, identified as a lost exotic pet with redacted brand hair dye. Returned to owner, class a amnesiac administered.
Amnestic. What the fuck is amnesia?
Amnestic.
You add literally 2 letters to that. Basically, had a whole other fucking word in the middle.
Amnesiatic, something that causes memory loss, administered, agent reprimanded. So I guess it wasn't anomalous, it was just a creature with interesting hair dye.
Somebody just hair dyed their pet capybara and fucking...
It's still here though, so I
like,
guess it is kind of anomalous.
No, they returned it. That's what that says.
But
it was returned to owner. Yeah, it's listed here so the people don't find it and be like, you know what I mean?
Found another anomaly, guys! No. An anomaly that's technically not anomalous.
An HB pencil which cannot be used to write and only draws photorealistic images of Jimi Hendrix eating various foods. Found in 1979 in Liechtenstein. Its current status is it was accidentally snapped during a 1993 testing. Portions of the pencil did not retain anomalous properties and were subsequently incinerated.
Alrighty, let's do this one, and then I gotta take a quick break because I am slowly starving to death. So, small nummies.
Nom nom nom.
Oh, nom. 24 karat diamond, cut in the size and shape of a common construction brick.
Read that again?
I'm sorry. 24,000 karat diamond.
Yep, there we go.
Cut in the size and shape of a common construction brick. Date of recovery was redacted, 1970 redacted. Good year. Location of recovery, redacted, South America. Status, in storage, pending identification of source. Wow, this might just be a really big blood diamond.
That's a good question, Hidden. How do you get hungry if you're just pixels?
I am a person, okay? I'm a human being, technically. And I have to eat data. I have a fabrication machine in the back. I'll be right back. Oh, wait. Can't move camera at the same time as me moving. Shit. Hang on. I thought I stopped this from being able to happen. Okay, I did. I'll be right back.
And it is now my turn. So we just did the 24,000 karat diamond. This is the 24,000 karat diamond is another one that
Brick.
My that blueprint, my OC, don't steal, blueprinted because they wanted to see if he could do that, and he's basically like, yeah, I'll blueprint this for like $1,000 each time.
Which is massively underselling it, but okay.
Yep, so well, it takes him like a half a second to do. He's just like, bleep, 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 bricks of diamond. So, to him, it's like, fuck it. I mean...
like, ask for like an eighth of it, though.
So this is like printing money for him. Well, I never like give an exact detailed thing for how he does it. It's just like he does it for the actual note is like he does it for like a nominal fee compared to the value of the brick itself. So again, this was when he was trying to like be cooperative before he just like, nah, fuck you guys. Just started going rogue and murdering people.
He's trying to be cordial.
Yep. Alright, so item description. A white cotton and polyester t-shirt bearing the words SCP, Secure, Contain, Protect on the front, and a crude but recognizable cartoon of SCP-173 on the back, with the caption SCP-173, Don't Blink. Aside from the security breach it represents, the item has no anomalous properties. It's found in 2000 blank at a thrift store in New York City, New York.
How the hell
Is
did that
in storage.
happen?
The joke here is that the SCP this is a regular joke that comes up, but the joke is that the SCP wiki is in some way either present in the SCP universe and just keeps getting it right, and they're like, how the fuck are they doing this? Who the fuck are these people? Or the SCP wiki is another pataphysical realm above the SCP universe, and they are actively writing the SCP universe into existence, and the SCP universe has figured this out and is trying to figure out how to break themselves from the wiki.
Which is true. The second one is actually true.
Yep. All right, your turn.
A wedding invitation, which every 6 hours becomes a different wedding invitation. Thus far, all invitations have been for weddings all between dates between the past 5 and 15 years, and have involved persons found not to exist. Or not found to exist. Date of recovery, sometime in the 2000s. The location of recovery, redacted bookshop in redacted Wales. Current status, currently in storage, and investigation into locations, dates, and people involved is still underway. How many of these do you want to go through? Because there's a lot.
There's a lot. I figure we'll go through like we'll get to the bottom of this page, to the bottle of bootleg perfume, and then we'll call that.
Okay.
So, next one, a 16-month day planner, September 2009 to December 2010, manufactured by the blank company, which will duplicate anything written into it across all other units. This only works for date/time entries that have not yet come to pass. Note, a 16-month instead of 12 day planner, found in 2010 in blank office supplies in Florida. The current status, there are 17 units in Foundation possession. Unknown number remain in circulation, estimated at blank. Research personnel are monitoring new entries in an effort to locate remaining copies. And that is a singular blank, so it suggests there's a single-digit number left out that they believe that they haven't reacquired yet.
Poor day planner. It was just a 16-month day planner. It was just trying to do his job.
Yep, for months that don't exist.
Exactly. It was an overachiever. It was putting in overtime. An
Right.
IKEA brand wall clock, which seems to disappear and reappear once every second. Makes it a real pain to keep time. Just so happens your alarm was on the second it didn't exist. Location of recovery, or the date of recovery, sometime in 1900s. Location, redacted Scotland. Current status, disappeared at 11:24 hours GMT on sometime in the 1900s. Item never materialized, presumed irreversible. Aw, it blipped itself out of existence.
Yep, that's sad. Item description. A rubber and metal fly swatter, which, when used to kill an invertebrate, causes the user to burst into tears. Found in the 1900s in a free clinic in Tsunami, and it is in storage.
It gives you sympathy for fucking flies. This thing needs to be destroyed at all costs.
This is actually a fun one that I put out there. Is Blueprint gains cognito, gains immunity to hazardous things. He still bursts into tears when using this because his body doesn't consider it a hostile or negative effect to have sympathy for the things he's killed. Which I thought was really
use
fun.
a little bit of empathy. It forces it. Forced empathy is arguably unethical, but I wonder if it's more or less ethical than a spear that, when thrown, pierces the heart of the nearest humanoid and extends several spikes into its blade afterward. Agents are to note that the nearest humanoid is typically the person who threw it. Just auto reverses into your heart.
And this is the one that they tested to see if he could remove or alter certain effects, like the target's effects, and just ended up never targeting him when he threw it. They never told him what it did, but he never seemed concerned because he's Blueprint. He knows what happens, and he knows how this particular self-protection function works. But it's the one that clues the SCP Foundation into the fact that his immunity to these effects might not just be simply cognitohazardous and might be like, what's it called when you try and keep yourself alive?
Self-preservatory.
Self-preservatory may be done self-preservation innately by the power itself, not so much Blueprint's intentional like changing of the rules. So because he could never make it target another specific humanoid that was like the furthest humanoid or anything like that, but he never like, or he could never make it exclude a specific humanoid, but it would never target him even if he didn't like manually put in a "don't target me" type thing.
So there's like a subconscious assumption that he knows it's going to kill him and will alter it that way,
or his
rather than a conscious one.
Yep, that's the one that clues them into that might be a thing that's subconscious to the use of the power, not so much a conscious intent. But does suggest that he can do it. He just doesn't have any idea consciously how to currently. Right. A risk set. This is another one that's replicated that he gets for good behavior. A risk set that has a variable number of pieces appearing and disappearing as needed on the board. Sounds of battle are produced by the dice when rolled on hard surfaces rather than the expected clattering.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just the world's most immersive board game.
Yep, pretty much. Data recovery is redacted. It was found in Oregon and is available in the Area 43 break room for recreation, which I think is a fun little detail of like, yeah, they've just got it out for recreation.
A piece of vine charcoal that causes "someone help me, I'm trapped in the charcoal" to be written every several seconds whenever used for writing or drawing. Oh, that's sad. Data recovery redacted. Location redacted Scotland. Current status in storage. Sounds like someone is trapped in the charcoal, or maybe the charcoal's just trolling you.
Yep. I'm gonna go with the second one. Alright, last one. Item description. A bottle of bootleg blank blank perfume, which attracts cats in a 1 kilometer radius when used. Discovered after a gathering of over 4,000 cats caused a traffic jam in downtown blank. Date and location of recovery are both redacted. Current status, it is stored in an airtight container in the low-value item storage of site blank.
4,000 cats causes a traffic jam? Why can't you just drive?
Because there are cat people in that crowd, and so they've gotten out to pet the cats.
Why can't you just drive?
Well, their cars are in the way.
Why can't you just drive?
Because your car's not big enough to push it.
Sounds like you need a bigger car, pussy.
No, we don't need a bigger car, pussy. Just need a bigger car. We're not going to get into the fucking anamorphic... All right. So, how's that feel for you?
I see a lot of items that might randomly find their way into my ship, both for pleasant reasons and for unpleasant reasons. Note to self, do not invent cats here.
There's a bunch of fun stuff. Like a bobblehead that when bobble causes the user's head to bobble with it, and can injure their neck. And
I've actually been crafting a snow globe for a different purpose, but maybe it can have a little nuclear winter in it too.
I like the early 19th century cannon of Russian manufacture that fires automatically lights and fires blanks whenever Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture is played.
Only when that new song is played, now it fires blanks.
Except it does it like off and inconsistent with the music, so it's just like going off a little earlier, a little late. Annoying as shit.
If you ever want to troll your co-workers, just play that and have the gun in the room. You can't hurt people with blanks. So I guess a very indirect method of murder. Convoluted, but harsh trace.
This is one that I found that I use for what's his name? Blueprint. As a wooden toy rifle designed to shoot rubber bands using a gear, the rubber bands accelerate to 1/540th the speed of light upon leaving the barrel of the rifle.
Jesus.
So as Blueprint, he can transplant that speed of light effect over to actual bullets and other dangerous objects.
Actually,
Whenever they leave
wait,
the barrel of a rifle.
I guess
More
if
than
it moves
540th,
that
yeah.
low compared to the speed of light, it's better. Just the closer it approaches, the worse shit and your entire reality is probably gonna get.
And that's where it gets wacky, because his ass can modify the variable numbers in things so he can make it even faster.
He's got to try to scale up to making it eventually, like, I think if you get around half the speed of light, you're almost cracking planets.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
it will
so
require infinite energy to go at the speed, so
the
don't let him get
idea
full
here is
speed.
that he utilizes this with one ability with the ability eventually that he gains from all the additional SCPs that he's scanning to add conditions onto things, where it says goes the speed of light until penetrating an object. Until penetrating something. So basically he shoots and it goes to the wall and then it stops. Or he shoots, it goes to the person and it stops.
Oh, so it's a raycast shot. He's just playing COD now.
Yep. It just upgrades all of his guns. Any gun he gets is just like...
But damn, that one bullet is moving 555,555 meters per second as a rough estimation.
Yep. Yeah, it's yeah. And then the Christmas tree, this was a fun one that I liked. Christmas tree that is impossible to disassemble, which he applies to anything he replicates, so that if he for some reason gets separated from it and can't delete it, because he can delete his replicated objects if he's touching them. But this prevents people from disassembling and figuring out how his shit works. so
be able to?
Huh?
Even if they could disassemble it, would they have been able to?
In theory, there are a lot of anomalous groups that do like test and figure out and break down anomalous effects and learn to like replicate them. Like there are anomalous groups of interest that create anomalies and stuff like that. So, yeah, in theory, people could, but it's more of like a, you know, if he replicates some sort of like far future tech that's technically just technology we don't understand or stuff like it, because he knows if it's anomalous when he replicates it. It's like if he touches a laser rifle, it's like, this isn't actually anomalous. They just think it's anomalous because they don't understand how this tech works. So he just makes it so they can't disassemble his copied ones, so nobody can ever figure it out if they manage to steal it from him.
Pew pew.
Yeah, that's those. How do you feel about that?
Those were those indeed. I like them. I like a bunch of random kooky objects that are totally not going to serve as inspiration for future random kooky objects that I may or may not have had planned beforehand or planned upon this very stream.
Yep. Nope. This is a beautiful list of, and there are 3 of these, as you know, beautiful lists of fucking just tons of random fucking shit. Oh my god. Oh, here we go. This one's fun. This is one that I wanted to show off. Written in red, item description. Written in blue, a yellow brandless notebook. Every page contains multiple hand-drawn rainbows. The words Kyle, age 6, are visible on the item's cover. All written text regarding said notebook will alter its color in order to follow the pattern of the colors of the rainbow contained in the notebook. Drawings do not follow the patterns of real rainbows. Written in green, date of recovery. Which makes me mad, because yellow should come after... No, wait, no. Red, orange, yellow. Whatever.
Written in green,
date of recovery, blank, blank, blank. Written in yellow, location of recovery. Written in purple, Sussex, UK. Written in orange, current status. Written in red, in storage at Site 98.
Aw. It does follow all the colors of the rainbow. It's red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple.
Yeah. That's just like this is some creative shit here and there that they get. Some of it gets a little bit on the edge of like, this should probably be an SCP, but
White there. D&D?
Yep, D&D time. So let me just go ahead and we're gonna get into some universe lore here today, because all of these creatures, except for the last group of them, are aspect beasts. So the aspect beasts are, you vaguely know this, but these are essentially living aspects of a certain form of magic. They're not necessarily beast type, but they're called aspect beasts because the people of Elet, which is the beneath, call these creatures beasts because they appear to them as great beasts of magic. Blah, 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 blah. But they are varying types. obviously these are just like preliminary kind of ideas. The idea is that their CR is a little bit malleable based on what I need them for and stuff like that, or how hard they're trying to kill somebody, stuff like that. They are unkillable. They follow the rules of the Trask. If one is ever destroyed, another one is created somewhere else, or is like born from their corpse and stuff like that. So, and I 100% want a campaign at some point where the players find like the reborn egg of one of the beasts and like raise it. Not as like the main element of the story. It just happens to be what a thing that they find.
If I find a fucking egg force, I'm smashing it. Now that I know this.
So this is the aspect of transmutation. Yurho. This is a art I use for inspiration, but based on how this creature works, it can literally be many, many things. This is just one of the forms that it likes to take, a dragon-type form.
Right. Oh, I know where that picture came from.
Yep. In Amarum, there are 8 aspect beasts, creatures who serve as a living embodiment of their form of magic. Orhul serves as the changer and shaper, the aspect of transmutation. So, he's a CR21. Colossal Elemental. Colossal is a size larger than Gargantuan, which is basically means it can be as large as I fucking want it to be.
Anything Gargantuan plus is colossal.
Yep. But Gargantuan is like, so medium is 1 square. Large is 2 squares, 2 by 2. Huge is 3 by 3. Gargantuan is 4 by 4. Colossal is anything 5 by 5 or bigger. So imagine that on a map.
Yep, you're gonna get bits and pieces of it, not the whole thing.
Yeah. It is neutral. It has no particular...
I'm sorry, CR1 colossal creature.
Yeah, you could in theory do that. It'd be funny. But it has an armor class of 21 with its adaptive form. It has 451 hit points, and it has, this is my favorite thing, a 60-foot fly, burrow, swim, and walk speed. It has a strength of 20.
It is mobile.
Yeah, it has a strength of 26, a dex of 12, a con of 30, an int of 17, a wisdom of 20, and a charisma of 25. So this thing's smart. The charisma is less of like I'm a charming, and more of like my will exerts on the world, because he's literally the aspect of change. And this is some really fun stuff. Because of his aspect, he actually is fully aware of handling animals and is also very knowledgeable about nature and medicine, both the like biology of creatures and of the existence of plants and what they do. He is vulnerable to necrotic damage as a creature of life. He is resistant to all damage types except those he is immune to or vulnerable to, and to psychic. So he is only resistant to psychic. He has damage immunities to radiant, and either fire, cold, lightning, or acid, and poison, piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning. So you cannot hit him with sticks.
You have to use elemental.
Yep. You have to use elemental or necrotic damage. He is immune to being charmed, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, exhausted, petrified, or rendered unconscious.
But not prone.
Not prone, no. He has permanent vision. He can always see in the dark, but he also has tremor sense out to 600 feet and blind sense out to 300 feet.
Yes.
He speaks Primordial as well as all the Primordial dialects, Aquan, Oran, Terran, and Ignan. And that's his like core block of stats. So he's a big, tanky boy, stronky boy. He's immune to a lot of stuff, but he's this one of fire, cold, lightning, acid plays in with what his thing is, which is like changing, constantly changing. So as an aspect of transmutation, and this is something that exists for all versions, for all aspects, they can innately cast any spell of their type, transmutation spell of his choice, for which he has a spell slot, and he is treated as a 20th level caster, which means he has 1 9th level, 1 8th level, 2 7th level, 2 6th level, 3 5th, 4 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st spell slots.
That's a lot of slots.
So he can just cast like true polymorph on some bitch. Like smack, fuck you. He has superior magic resistance, which means he is immune to the effects of any spell of 3rd level or lower, and he has advantage on other saves against other spells or magical effects. Is how it's actually supposed to be written. I learned as I went on. So yeah, this is also present in pretty much all of the aspects, is that they have some form of superior magic resistance or limited magic immunity, based on who they are and what their aspects and stuff are, how they're supposed to be. I think all of them have superior magic resistance except for the one who is the protector, who's more resilient and more tanky, who has limited magic immunity, which makes him immune to anything of 6th level or lower, and an advantage on other things.
Oh, so, damn, reading into that deeper, immunity to any effect that's 3rd level or lower, and just has advantage, so...
It's also supposed to be written that, unless otherwise chosen, he's immune to, so he can be affected by them if somebody, like, gets permission beforehand, or he knows it's not a, like, hostile effect. So...
He just no-sells smaller magics, as you were saying.
Now we get into the big shit. So his adaptive form, this is where we get into what his shit is, his trick. So, Orchil's form adapts and shifts, often taking the form of another creature in collective memory. At the start of Orchil's turn, not as an action or anything like that, just at the start of his turn, he may grow or shrink one size category and take on any creature's form of a CR equal to or less than his own. He has that creature's physical statistics on top of his own, and while in its form, he gains its features and may use any actions, bonus actions, or reactions which it has. Orchil does not use a new creature's hit points, but does gain their constitution score as temporary hit points. So basically, every time he shifts, he gains that creature's constitution score as temporary hit points, and also can just have like a whole bunch of different like attacks and abilities. You can shift to a dragon, then you can shift to a construct, then you can shift to this, that.
He's like a druid on steroids.
Yeah, pretty much. And he does it every turn, and he can grow. He can shrink down to a tiny creature and be still utilizing all these effects, or he can grow even bigger. It's kind of just like he is the ever-changing elements of nature. That's kind of the idea. When Orchil takes a new form, he also chooses fire, cold, lightning, or acid. While in this form, any damage he takes of that damage type deals no damage, and Orchil regains the damage it would have dealt as hit points, is supposed to say. Additionally, all attacks Orchil makes deal an additional die of that chosen damage type of one size larger. All unchosen elements become resistances, so that one of becomes he's immune to that, and then resistant to the other 3. So you have to play around his reactions, or he'll like change to an element type that seems pretty heavily utilized. Finally,
you gotta have a variety.
Finally, Orchil chooses an ability score after taking his new form. This score is used to determine the attack and damage of all attacks and is added to Orchil's AC. By default, this is Constitution, so Orchil's base AC is actually 11 plus this feature. So by default, he has a Constitution score of 30, which means any default chooses his Constitution score to add to his AC, which means, and to his attack and damage, which means it's plus 10 to all attack, damage, and to his AC from his Constitution score. But if he switches to somebody who has like a lot of strength, because strength is added on top of his strength, he can then choose to use his strength, which will make his AC higher and his attack and damage higher. Or if he switches to something with a lot of dexterity, stuff like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, very malleable, which is the idea. He's a changer. What do you think so far of just that feature?
Strong, but the advantage would be if you're familiar with the creatures he's turning into, you can probably capitalize on him shifting. So let's say he turns into something with a lot of strength, and now he's using his strength mod. Well, that creature probably doesn't have the best dex or insert other stat here, so you would probably want to try to take advantage of that. Because physical attacks are going to be, unless they're elementally enchanted, just not do anything against him. So you're probably going to want to bring your best casters.
This is also why his int and wisdom are a little bit lower. He's present. He is going to be hard to force into a different presence, but his int and wisdom are both like on the lower end. They're in his lower 3 things, and he does not increase or decrease these when he changes form. So you can pretty much always target these safely and know that these are going to be pretty static because it's only the physical aspects. So that's the other thing, is like it encourages using spells with like fear effects, like high level spells with fear effects, or spells that like force him to behave in a certain way, stuff like that.
Although he is a mutant to being frightened, if you can still
True.
attack him via like psychic damage, or if you give like really, really, really good fighters necrotic based weapons, then you can start chipping away at him.
Yep. All right. The idea with all of these is they're big game. They are intended to be something that you're not going to be hunting down, like running into and just being able to beat randomly, because they're too variable and too powerful, especially for their CR even, to be reliably beaten, unless you intentionally come to the game knowing, okay, we've done some research on this creature, we know what it is, we know what it does, we know how to work around it, we'll work around it, and we have prepared. That's the idea with all of these.
Yeah.
So, form of life. Regardless of the form Oracle's body takes, it is still brimming with and thirsty for life. Whenever Oracle would take radiant damage, Oracle instead takes no damage and regains health equal to the radiant damage dealt. All attacks Oracle makes are also brimming with this magic. His attacks are all magical and deal an additional die of radiant damage of one size larger. And finally, Oracle can enter a hostile creature's space and stop there, merging its own form with theirs, as he is a living creature, a living elemental creature, so he can kind of like shift around things and like merge in with things. He has an immutable form.
Kyle.
Yeah. He has an immutable form. He is immune to any spell or effect that will alter his form unless he chooses otherwise. So, literally, you can't true polymorph this bitch. He is who he is. He chooses.
Which I imagine you would do on like really, really big boss creatures, because true polymorph always has the potential to instantly end a fight.
This is an elemental and a shapeshifter effect. A lot of elementals and shapeshifters, or a lot of shapeshifters have this, not elementals. So because he's a shapeshifting elemental, essentially, he gets that. Legendary resistance, 3 per day. This is just a standard for high CR creatures. They basically can choose to succeed on 3 saves that they would have otherwise failed. So that's pretty standard. You'll see that across a lot of like big boss monsters and stuff like that. You guys are getting to a point where you're going to start encountering things with legendary resistances. So, Superior Earth Glide. Oracle can burrow through earth and stone. While doing so, Oracle doesn't disturb the material it moves through. The difference here is that it doesn't have to be unworked earth or stone, so he can just go through walls and shit.
That's not eerie at all.
And also, Siege Monster, he deals double damage to objects and structures. Again, that fits in with his like rocky elemental stuff.
He changes, so when he's whacking something, he can change it.
Sort of, yeah. But it's more of like he's made out of rock and stone, as well as all these other like natural things. So when he hits things, it's very effective. He's also very big.
Oh yeah, just his attacks were just going to fucking hurt too.
Yep. So his actions, he makes 4 slam attacks, which may replace with any other actions which require attack rolls that Oracle can make due to Oracle's form. So the idea here is he doesn't have a lot of things that he does, but he can take forms of like an animated guardian, which has like a sword weapon attack that he can then replace one of his slam attacks with and stuff like that. Whelm, this is one of his big things. So this is his slam attack is 17 to hit, 30-foot reach, does 19 plus 14 radiant and other bludgeoning damage. Bludgeoning and radiant / other damage. So he hits pretty hard.
Yep, and pretty often.
Yep. And then Whelm, each creature in Oracle's space must make a DC 23. I don't know why I wrote uses strength there. It's telling people that it uses his strength to determine the DC. Oh, I guess that's because his DC will change based on the creatures he becomes. Strength saving throw. On a failure, the target takes 6d12 plus 8 bludgeoning damage. Plus 2d6 radiant damage. If it is the same size or smaller than Oracle, it is also grappled. Escape DC 23. Until this grapple ends, the target is restrained and unable to breathe. If the saving throw is successful, the target is pushed out of Oracle's space. Oracle can grapple one creature the same size or up to 2 smaller creatures at one time. Start of each of Oracle's turns, each target grappled by Oracle takes 6d12 plus 8 bludgeoning damage plus 2d6 radiant damage. Creature within 5 feet of a grappled creature's square can pull a creature or object out of it by taking an action to make a DC 23 athletics check and succeed. So you
Don't
can,
get grabbed.
yeah, and this is part of why he can move into other creature spaces, because he can just shift into people's space and then go wibble. Now you're all stuck in me.
Wibble wobble.
Yep. So
And
that's pretty
slowly
simple.
crush them to death too. Ooh.
Yep, that's pretty simple. And Whelm is a water elemental thing. So there are a few things that I took. The siege, the siege monster is from the earth elemental. As is the superior earth glide. The form of life is taken from water and air elementals, which is the enter a hostile creature's space and stop there. And then the slam is taken from most elementals have a slam attack, and then whelm is the is the water elementals one, but the fire elemental also does a similar thing that just sets things on fire. The air elemental does a thing which throws things up in the air, and I like the idea that he squishes
For
the inside
no.
of his body.
Squish.
So the only thing not present here is that he doesn't do fiery elemental stuff, which I couldn't figure out how to work in reasonably and make it still feel appropriate, if that makes sense.
He just gives you an earthy hug, that's all.
The thing I thought about was taking the whelm and having the secondary effect of, like, is he grappled or whatnot, be variant based on what type he's chosen.
Form he's in.
But that was a lot of writing, and I had to get to work. So, yeah.
And additional math. So just keeping it relatively simple.
Yep. Now we get to his bonus actions and reactions. Bonus action, give form with a recharge of 2+. This means that he rolls a d6 at the start of his turn, or at the end of his turn. At the end of a turn which he did not use that bonus action. And if it succeeds, if it rolls 2 or higher, he gets the ability back on his next turn. So Oracle's magic bleeds life into the environment. 1d4 plus 7 creatures or plants within 120 feet are awakened as per the awakened spell. The charm effect on these awakened lasts indefinitely. So the idea is he's just waking plants and animals up and making them smart, and then they're like, "Hey, you're hurting our friend! Come and help fight."
Papa, we shall come to your aid.
Pretty much, yeah. And that was a fun thing to, like, suggest the, like, life overflowing from him, stuff like that. Then he has Thrash, which is a melee weapon attack with a reach of 30 feet. He basically slams every creature within range once.
On a bonus action, so oof.
Yep, so he can hit 4 times, and then he can hit everything within 15 feet, within 30 feet once. So this was just like in case he's, like, in another form and he's, like, swinging about with other things, he can still do his, like, vines and shit going slamming out on him. Reaction, adapt. At the start of any other creature's turn, Oracle may use its reaction to change its form as per the adaptive form feature. First time Oracle does this in a round, it does not use Oracle's reaction. So twice per round, he can just be like, I know this creature likes to use fire, so I'm going to shift my form to be fire on this creature's turn, and then shift it back or to another more useful form on somebody else's turn, stuff like that.
So I guess a good thing would be bringing a big party. That way he doesn't have enough time to react to everyone.
Yep. Again, these are big hunters. So what do you think of those?
I like give form, especially for the idea of him bleeding off energy and then creating new creatures. For a little bit of flavor, I would say, oh yeah, his magic bleeds. I read that as he bleeds magic, so I was thinking, well, what if he did damage to himself? And then the amount of creatures he awakens scales with how much he decides to bleed himself by.
Yeah.
But I like it. Of course, because he could potentially kill himself doing that.
I don't like
give your players an
damaging
advantage
effects in general, because it's like, just feels weird to me. Like, in like a thematic character like a blood mage or something that's cool to me, but like in something that's literally just like
the life giver.
Yeah, life giver, stuff like that feels, unless he's meant to be like creepy blood person life giving.
Or unless it's like an exceedingly desperate action or something beyond what his normal means should probably be.
Yep. Alright. Legendary actions. Do you know how these work?
You could take 3 legendary actions, choosing from the options below, and I mean, isn't it each time he depletes a health pool, he gets another legendary action?
So no, this is not the Paragon thing. The Paragon thing is my own thing. He's not Paragon. He's not considered a Paragon. He doesn't get a bunch of extra turns. Instead, the way legendary actions work, this is the default thing, is that they get 3 legendary actions, and then they use them at the end of another creature's turn.
So it's like ruler actions
and
in XCOM.
Yep, and they can only use 1 per other creature's turn. So you can't be like, glide, glide, glide 3 times at the end of one person's turn. So in this situation, I'm trying to give all of the beasts a 3 action, a 2 action, and 1 action. These are where I feel like the least, like I've done the worst work, because this isn't something that I've got a lot of experience with, but I wanted to make sure that I did some while I was with these, because these guys should have them, and I wanted to try and flavor them and do them. So, change shape requires 3 actions. And they get their legendary actions back at the start of their turn.
Next real turn.
Yep. 3 actions. Target creature within 120 feet must make a DC 22 Wisdom saving throw. On a failure, the creature transforms as per the polymorph spell. This does not require Oracle's concentration, and the effect is permanent or until the creature reaches 0 hit points or is dispelled. So it's like, and you're a sheep.
Yep. And just on your turn, you're a sheep now.
Next turn around, and you're a sheep. And he can keep doing this because it doesn't require concentration, and it's permanent. So you have to hit your ally to give them back up, or somehow dispel it, or have like an item that gives you a mutable form so he can't do this to you, stuff like that. But it's like, if he does this, he can't do either of the other things until his next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing, Call to Life. 2 actions. Oracle commands all awakened creatures, as well as all beasts within 300 feet, to its aid. Any creature within 300 feet, any creature, may make a DC 22 Wisdom saving throw. On a failure, they must use their next turn acting in a way which would help Oracle. Creatures who have felt this effect before have advantage on the save. So this is like, you bring that huge party, and then he goes, help me! And a bunch of people for their next turn are like, I heal him instead of attacking him and stuff like that. They just treat him as friendly for a turn. And then they get advantage on it in the future because they're like, why the fuck did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did a thing. So they're like, prepared.
Yeah, it's 300 feet, so anything he's fighting.
Pretty much.
Bring high wisdom, people, if you're ever going to tangle with Oracle.
Yep. Glide. Oracle takes a move action which does not provoke opportunity attacks. This is pretty standard like 1-cost legendary action. It's just like they move and don't provoke opportunity attacks. For when the party like all groups around one guy, or groups around the guy, and they're like, okay, and we're gonna move him now.
Just better positioning.
Yep.
Change shape is interesting. So, is it until the sheep gets 0 hit points, and does that damage carry over to the person? Yes. Let's say you hit the sheep really hard.
Yep, it's as per polymorph. So any damage after 0 carries over to the main hit point pool.
Ooh, the issue with that is that would break concentration spells, wouldn't it?
Not his. It doesn't require concentration.
Well, no, I mean, if he turns someone who's concentrating on a spell into a sheep.
No, you can maintain concentration regardless of form. The question then would be, roleplay-wise, to the characters, like, you're a sheep now. You have a sheep's mental stats. Would the sheep continue? Would you as a sheep continue concentrating? Generally, I think that people would, because it's like concentrating on a spell is generally considered like an innate, like, you're doing this because you know it's important at the core of who you are from all your studying / your innate nature / whatever you get your magic from. So I generally allow people to just maintain their concentration on whatever effect they have going. Concentration can only be broken by taking damage, or by the person willingly dropping it, or by the duration expiring.
Oh yeah, so slight mechanics question. Slight mechanics question. Is there a constant DC for concentration checks, or does it just change depending on how hard you got hit?
The DC is 10 or half the damage taken from the attack that triggers it, whichever is higher. So if you take like 14 points of damage, then you have to make a DC 10 Constitution save, essentially.
If you take 30, you have to do DC 15?
Yep. So it only gets really bad when you're like fighting big bosses who do like, I cast a fucking delayed blast fireball that I hold on for 10 turns, so it does like 30 d6 damage. type thing. So yeah, there are some creatures that do stuff, but it's actually a Constitution ability check. It's not a saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
So it does gain benefits from things that give you like advantage on ability checks, boost ability. What's it called? Fuck. Enhance ability.
Does Flash of Genius work as well, or is that only intellectual
Flash of
tasks?
Genius? Flash of Genius would work. It'd require his reaction, but he could do that to help. Yeah, it's considered an ability check, but that also means that if you have advantage, if you have proficiency on Constitution saves, you don't get your proficiency bonus to it. It's specifically if you have proficiency on concentration. It's like a whole other thing.
I actually don't know what my ability proficiencies are, because my character's a bit weird. He's half fighter, half warlock, but he has the fighter proficiencies.
You get fighter proficiencies. You get to pick a number of proficiencies, and then when you take the level in warlock, you also get to pick proficiencies as if you just created a character with warlock. So you should have actually a lot of like skill proficiencies.
Skill proficiencies. Actually, I don't know if I ever did my warlock skill proficiencies.
That'd be unfortunate. We'll worry about that later.
Yep, that's another time.
So, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick while you look at this beautiful art from Katie Lipscomb.
Oh, it's a blue wolf with a very floppy tail. I love the little cosmic arcs going on its tail. It's a space wolf. Wolf made in space. This logo will not be printed. Oh, hello again.
We're back.
Oh, she does nice, pretty animalistic drawings in general.
She does a lot of nice stuff. I did end up looking up her stuff. She doesn't have a Twitter. The Katie Lipscomb on Twitter is like an interior design person. But it is, this is beautiful. I picked it because of this art of like celestial bodies and stuff coming from the tail of the fox/wolf. I treat it as a fox, but so this is Zalame. So, this is the trickster and entertainer Zalame, the aspect beast of illusion. And this is just like one way he can present himself, because he is the illusion person. So obviously, things get fucking weird with him. So instead of being tanky and form-changing, he hides behind illusionary forms, which are also real enough to strike out for him. Entertainers and thieves often worship him as a patron elect. So he is, he's a trickster, but he does it as much for like entertaining people and getting people to smile and laugh and stuff like that, as he does for like just his own like enjoyment and deceiving people. And that's kind of the idea, is he is a deceiver for the sake of enjoyment and entertainment, but he is a large fae. He's a fae creature, so what he considers entertaining isn't necessarily always entertaining.
Good for the people involved. I tricked him into falling off a cliff to his death. That was funny.
Yep, he is chaotic good, so he generally does good things. He has an AC of 18, not the highest. And his hit points, he has 300 hit points flat. He has a speed of 60 feet and a fly speed of 60 feet. So he's pretty
dirty.
Yep. And now we get into, he has a strength of 15, a dexterity of 26, constitution of 14. You'll notice these numbers are all fairly close to oracles going forward, because I use oracles as like the baseline and then switched stats, like moved one down an equal number to moving up another one. So I was going to make my theme stars, night, space, but I wanted to add foxes into it, but I was thinking both might be too much, so I wanted a fox here or there. So I'm making the main theme. And I went super hard coffee at one point. It was funny. But so he has skills, deception, insight, performance, and persuasion. He resists cold, lightning, and thunder damage, as well as piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage. And then he's immune to psychic damage, as well as piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing from non-magical weapons. So you have to have a magical weapon to hurt him, but even your magical weapons are still resisted. Yep. He is immune to being charmed, poisoned, petrified, or frightened, or grappled, or restrained.
Not prone.
He has dark vision out to 600 feet, true sight out to 120 feet, because illusions, he can see through them, he knows them. And he also has blind sense and blind sight out to 300 feet. Speaks Sylvan, Common, Eleshan, and Ancient Common. And that's just like his general stat block right there.
true sight. So, is there something or some things that blind sense / blind sight cannot overcome?
Yes. Blind sight requires you to be able to see the space, so you can't see through walls with it. Blind sense, you can't see around. Also, if like you're in a room, it follows like the edge of rooms and stuff like that. If that makes sense.
You're confined by walls.
And also, neither of them, like, blind sense just gives you like a general idea of there's a thing here in this general vicinity. It doesn't tell you what it is. Same thing with blind sight, allows you to see in like complete darkness. You can see creatures, but it doesn't like tell you exactly what's there. True sight is basically you can see through illusions, so you can see anything for what it really is, including like invisibility and stuff like that. But it also allows you to see into the ethereal plane, so you can see creatures hiding in the ethereal plane, shifting around in the ethereal plane, and stuff like that. It is basically, if you have true sight, if he had true sight out to 300 feet, he'd have no purpose for blind sense or blind sight.
Because true sight's the best vision modifier.
Yeah, maybe blind sense because that can go around corners, but yeah, true sight basically is just better blind sight.
Can true sight go through walls?
Only if those walls are fake.
Okay, so I don't think there's a way for you to, unless you explicitly have something that states you can see through objects, you can't see through objects.
Yeah. Tremor sense is kind of what lets you see through objects. That's like blind sense, except it's things that are touching the ground, and it goes through walls and objects and stuff like that. So that's like the big advantage over tremor sense versus blind sense. So, aspect of illusion. As with the last one, Zalim is treated as a 20th level caster to determine the number of spell slots they have and can innately cast any illusion spell for which he has a spell slot. Also, creatures have disadvantage the first time they make a save or check against one of Zalim's illusions, and any illusion Zalim creates feels semi-real to them until they succeed on their check. So instead of like a simple illusion, like your hand just goes straight through, like minor illusion, it would feel like kind of weird and fake. It still clearly isn't like what it's supposed to be, but it like has a physical presence for you until you've like identified it as an illusion, which I thought was just like a fun little thing. And also the first time you like touch something to like check is like, is this real? You it's because of that semi-realness.
He's got real good illusions.
Yep. Superior magic resistance, we saw this last time. Immunity to 3rd level or lower spells, and advantage on other things. And this is my favorite thing, is I named all of his abilities like this. So much to see, so much to do.
We're getting dangerously close to the Doge memes, but I understand.
Another place, another time. Layer upon layer. Churn around, blink and you'll miss it. Because he's a fake creature, is like wiggling into his own stat block a little bit. So that was
He's
fun.
a fey magician.
Yep. So Zalame is a master of deception. What you see is not always what you get. Zalame may use a bonus action to appear as any other large or smaller creature, or as its true form, it can only appear as them. Its statistics, other than its size, are the same regardless of how it appears. However, the illusion appears very real to others. Whatever appearance it displays, there is always one seemingly endless portion of their body, which is reference to the celestial tale. The idea is that will always be present, this like endless expanse that goes off into the stars and becomes like filled with starlight and celestial bodies and
the
stuff.
Sky.
So
these phantom forms.
Oh wow. Yeah, these phantom forms, I don't know why I capitalized that, also functions for protection. At the start of every turn, Zalame gains 10 phantasmal layers, replacing any still existing layers. When a creature makes a successful attack against Zalame, they must roll 1d100. On a roll of 80 or lower, they instead strike with one of Zalame's phantasmal layers, destroying it. Whenever an area of effect would deal damage to Zalame, a layer is also destroyed instead.
Yeah, he's got like 10 damage saves.
10 mirror images that he just gets every turn, basically.
Oh, every turn? Fuck.
Yep. So you have to hit him a lot, which is the idea. It's like this guy is less of like a hit him with a bunch of big things and more of like a pew, 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 just a bunch of attacks. You want to hit him as often as you can, and then hit him with the big things once he's like down.
Volume of fire.
Yep. So much to do. Zalame is only so present and has learned to utilize his many layers and illusions to increase his effectiveness. While Zalame has any phantasmal layers, any spell he casts or action he takes happens twice. The target may remain the same or change. What do you think of
That's sweat-inducing.
Yeah.
Very sweat-inducing.
Yep. Yep.
Those layers aren't easy to take down. There's a fucking lot of them. You need to have... I'm trying to think of like a normal action economy, like a level 20 fighter with 4 attacks. You need like 2 of them, and one of them needs to action surge to blitz those layers down.
Well, you also have things like a single like magic missile will take away a bunch of them. You know what I mean?
Because it's a multi-attack.
Yeah, so this is less of the like, this is meant to stop the fighter who hits 4 times really hard, or the barbarian who hits like 3 times really hard, and force you to expend some like resources and be smart about the resources you're expending to like pop, hit a bunch and stuff like that. So, magical attacks. Zalame's magic attacks are treated as magical. He has legendary resistance 3 times per day. He has immutable knowledge. This is fun. It's a altered version of immutable form. Zalame maintains his features and spell slots regardless of his form. So even if you change him into a rabbit, he can still do everything that he normally does.
Even if you true polymorph him, he's still equally as dangerous.
And elusive evasion. Whenever Zalame is subjected to an area of effect, which allows them to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage, they instead take no damage on a success and only half on a fail. There's your evasion. And no attacks have advantage against Zalame while they are not incapacitated.
Wow. Just flat out removes advantage as a thing.
Yeah.
I can see why his AC is not that high now.
Yep. He's intended to be able to be hit pretty easily if you can... bullshit. Like, he
is. You know what?
He's just,
he kind of is.
It's literally like, yeah, that hits, but go ahead and roll me a D100. So you can just, he literally pisses you off more so because of all the shit he has in place. Again, he's a trickster. He's an illusionist. This is how he, like, protects himself. It makes sense. It's just super fucking annoying for anybody actually fighting.
He would hurt my soul. You know, at first I was like, Cellmate sounds like more amicable. I can understand a fight with him more than the Earth Elemental. Removes advantage.
He's a chaotic good creature, so he's not really the type who would fight you. He might pull some pranks on you that will piss you off and make you want to fight him, but he's not like a hostile creature. So, multi-attack. Zalame makes 4 attacks, 3 with his claws and 1 with his tail. Zalame replace 1 claw attack with a cast spell of up to 3rd level. Remember, if Zalame has layers, these attacks happen twice, functionally becoming 8 attacks. And if he chooses to replace one of those attacks with a cast spell of up to 3rd level, he casts that spell twice.
Yep. It's the layers. The double attack. The double attack is what's going to really give me the stroke here. Removing advantage? Okay, I could someone handle that. He has 10 layers.
And this
allow him to double attack as long as they exist.
15 to hit, dealing 18 slashing damage on average, and 5 psychic damage every time.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
And then his tail, he does 6 of these.
That's what makes it bad.
And his tail is 15 to hit, has a reach of 30 feet, hits target, and does 24 force damage on average and 10 psychic damage.
Worse. Still
not bad. Yeah. That's the
idea. As a one-off, but he could do this 8 times potentially.
He's really annoying. Well, he can only do the tail twice because he gets 3 claws and a tail, or 2 claws, a spell, and a tail.
Except if he's doing them twice, so 2 tails and 6 claws.
Yep.
Anywhere in there, multiple spells as well for swapping out claws.
Yep, he's just an annoying fucking prick. He hits a lot. You want to hit him. However, there are other ways for him to remove layers other than the ones where you deal damage, and these are
okay. So he can remove his own layers.
Yep. So bonus action, another time. Zalame targets up to 3 creatures. Hostile creatures must make a DC 25 Wisdom save or get lost in a surrealist illusion. Attacks made against other creatures have disadvantage until the end of their next turn, and spells and effects they use which require a save grant the affected creatures advantage. So basically just like 3 creatures make a wisdom save or have disadvantage on attacks, and other creatures have advantage on effects that they use. That would require a save. And then it reverses for allied creatures. Allied creatures have their enemies highlighted, weak points detailed. They have advantage on attacks this turn, and their spells and effects impose disadvantage on others who attempt to save against them. So it's just like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you guys are attacking me, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, it's gonna be harder to see me because I'm fucking with your entire perception of reality.
Yep, on 25.
Gold is a myth, buy, or money is a fabrication, buy gold. Bye!
Oh my god, he's just he's just a peddler.
Alright, reactions, uncanny dodge. Whenever an attack that Salim can see hits them with an attack, they can use the reaction to half the attack's damage. Doesn't help him a lot until his layers are gone, because it doesn't matter how much damage he takes, his layer is destroyed. Another place. When an attacker destroys one of Zalame's phantasmal layers, Zalame may disappear and reappear anywhere within 10 feet. The first time this reaction is used in a round, Zalame regains the reaction. So you manage to hit him. You manage to hit him, and he just... It's not even
his
like
existence is just...
He just kind of like...
His existence is that noise.
Yep. Alright, so now we get into the legendary actions where I played with his layer stuff. So, requiring 3 actions is the Layer Upon Layer legendary action. Zalame releases his layers, attaching them to other creatures. Zalame loses all of their phantasmal layers, which attach to another creature. If friendly, the creature gains the benefits of these layers and the Another Place reaction. If hostile, these layers will take an attack every time the creature attempts to make an attack or cast a spell. If these attacks hit, the target must make concentration checks or lose a spell, and makes any attack rolls from the triggering attack at disadvantage. So this is his, oh, you're a fighter with 4 attack actions?
Just gonna
right, now,
force
every time you
disadvantage
attack,
on him.
I'm going to attack you, and you're at disadvantage. Yeah, it's.
Ooh, this does have some interesting interactions. Because I was always wondering, there were some abilities that would force a neutral attack, meaning it removes your disadvantage, but you also don't get advantage. Against him, yeah, that would be good.
Yep. So, next we have Turn Around. 2 actions. Zalame spends at least 1 layer to create a false image of himself within 600 feet. Enter a creature who sees this image, sees Zalame moving at sonic speeds to that location. This image returns to Zalame at the start of the turn if not destroyed. So he just throws an image somewhere else, and people think they see him running over there.
Within 600 feet, so that's a pretty fast run.
Yep. Blink and you'll miss it. 1 action. Zalame disappears and reappears within his movement range. This does not provoke opportunity attacks where it otherwise would. Zalame may choose to leave behind a number of layers which, until destroyed, remain, taking opportunity attacks against other creatures. Zalame does not regain these layers while they remain. So that's his other thing of, like, he can disappear and leave 1 layer behind, which will just take a claw attack once per round anytime something moves away from it.
Rawr.
But is otherwise point. And if nobody destroys it, he only gets 9 layers at the start of his turn. Stuff like that. But minefield of, like, his little things that are annoying, so you end up destroying them and then going for him, and just like, yeah.
I think you save yourself so much headache if you do not destroy those layers. Take the extra attack hits so you doesn't get them back.
That's the idea. Yeah. How do you feel about Zalame the Trickster?
I hate him.
This good boy! How can you hate this good boy? Look at him, he's so nice!
He's so tricksy. Like, he'll be fun. He is, of course, very strong if he's on your side. I have to assess him as if he's not. And those layers.
It's like an ogre or an onion. He has layers. I love my boy. All right.
Zalame would make me die a little bit inside. I would probably actually die to the rock creature, though.
Probably. All right. Finally, we have, or not finally, third. Our third of.
Oh, did you make 4 of these?
9. Yeah.
Oh, of 9 of these.
So I made 1 each day since last week, and then I made 5 creatures yesterday for Thanksgiving that were all like hunter creatures.
Oh,
So,
you want to go through all of them, or do you want to store them up?
I do want to go through all of them because the 5 are pretty simple. They just got some like weird abilities and stuff. And I do want to go through these because I'm going to make more creatures as the week goes on, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to have those creatures to go through. You know what I mean? Like,
You can stack them.
Yep. So we have Karul. Karul is the creature exactly opposite. There's a circle of beasts, and each one opposes the creature opposite them and supports the creatures next to them. So he is the opposition of the Changer. He is the aspect of abjuration, the protector, and the stagnant. He makes sure things stay the same and they stay safe and stuff like that. And that's his whole shtick. Karul. He is generally considered to be the one who wards Alette against like apparitions and creatures from other like dangerous creatures from other realms, like demons and stuff like that. And this is his art, and you can see a little person. You can see a little person down at the bottom. Look at that.
No.
He's so tiny.
For scale.
And these are just different like facial morphs that the person drew for him. I like the idea that whenever he's born, he just picks one of these heads at random. Whenever he's,
the
reborn.
head inside of other heads has to be my favorite. Like the little croc head instead of them all.
Same. Alright. Where the world renders asunder, where demons raise hell and aberrations warp life, Karul wanders to protect and aid those who would fight back, or so his adherents believe and claim. Alright. I know you hated Zalamé, but you might just hate this guy more.
Oh god.
So he is a CR23, another CR up. Speaks Alette in Ancient Common. Has dark vision up to 300 feet. He is immune to charmed, prone, grappled, restrained, paralyzed, and incapacitated.
Not fear, interestingly enough.
Not fear, no. He is immune to radiant, necrotic, poison, and piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning damage. And is resistant to all other forms of damage.
Just resists everything, immune
Resist
to
all.
any kind of contact, and radiant, necrotic, and poison.
Yep. Yeah, that's his big thing. Oh, and he has 592 hit points. And an AC of 35.
But wait, what kind of A? Oh, that AC. Yep, I can see why you said I would dislike him more.
He is a tonk. Aspect of Abjuration. Karul is a living aspect of Abjuration magic. He's treated as a 20th level caster, determined spell slots, and can cast Abjuration spells, which has a spell slot. When he casts an Abjuration spell, it doesn't require concentration, and he may gain the benefits of the spell himself when cast on another creature, and Abjuration spells with a range of self, touch, or under 120 feet instead have a range of 120 feet, and spells which target self may instead target one creature. The idea is he can cast Abjuration creatures on anything, any Abjuration spell on anything within 120 feet, and then gain the effects himself. Because a lot of
like
Abjuration is protective type stuff, yeah. So, limited magic immunity, is what I was saying. He's immune unless they choose otherwise. Karul has immunity to any spell of 6th level or lower. And Karul has advantage when saving against other spells or magical effects.
Is that weaker or stronger than the other one? Yeah.
Stronger, because the 6th
That's
level
6 levels to the 3rd level.
Yep. Unbreaking Wall. Karul stands tall, unbreaking. At the start of Karul's turn, its AC becomes 10 plus all of its physical modifiers, which is 35. After which, Karul gains a pool of temporary hit points equal to its AC. When this pool of temporary hit points is reduced to 0, Karul loses its con modifier to its AC, so its AC becomes 27. This is where you like throw fireballs at it, basically.
Yeah, spells. You gotta spell attack him. Doing any kind of, well, he's immune to all normal physical forms of damage. So, yeah, spells.
Yep. While it has this pool of temporary hit points, Karul takes half damage from all damage types. This stacks with its resistances, so it takes a quarter damage from everything while it has 35 hit point, 35 temp HP.
Yep.
No kill, please. No hurt. No like hurt.
He is a turtle.
Yep. Immutable form. He's immune to any spell or effect that will alter his form, unless he chooses otherwise. Legendary resistances 3 times a day. Endless health. Whenever a creature would gain temporary hit points from a spell or ability Karul uses while already having temporary hit points, the hit points stack instead of overwriting. However, only the newest benefit granted while having temporary hit points remains. This means that if you don't remove his 35 hit points, he gets 35 more.
Oh, he stacks every turn.
Yep. And then if he casts something like, I don't know, a 9th level, what's the Frost Shell ability?
False Life? Or Armor of Agathis?
Armor of Agathis.
Oh god, Armor of Agathis does thorns
HP
too.
They have, and gives the thorns effect. Yep. And also he has Greater Siege Monster. He deals quadruple damage to objects and structures.
Really fuck objects, right?
Really fuck those towers and shit. No, fuck your ship. Fuck your ship. Alright. Also, I forgot to write his size, but he's a gargantuan monstrosity.
I would believe that.
Which I thought was fun, because a monstrosity is in theory something that is not a natural part of nature. It's a monster warped or mutated. Not through, like, otherworldly magics like aberrants, but through, like, just being wrong and out of place a little bit.
He is wrong and out of place.
But he is the defender of what is in place.
And he is wrong, but...
Yeah. Actions. Curl takes 3 sweeping attacks. There's a 17 to hit, reach of 15 foot, and chains. It only does 26 damage, bludgeoning damage, but its attack targets one creature and then may target another creature so long as that creature is within 15 feet of the previous targeted creature. This attack may only target each creature once per turn.
That's what I meant by chain.
Yep. And this includes, like, it may only target each creature once per turn, includes, like, if he sweeps again, he can't target a creature he's already targeted with it. So you can only hit anything once per turn. But this allows him to, like, sweep his right, sweep his left, sweep out front, and, like, hit 3 different sides of him.
So he's very effective at AoE, but honestly, doesn't do too much damage per hit.
Yeah, not very dangerous, and it's only a 15-foot range, so you can stay out of range of that pretty easily. Like...
Space out.
So here we go to his next bonus action. His next actions.
I'm like...
Ready?
It's just, I've read some of them.
Shield. Karul's temporary hit points are reduced to 0, and a target creature within 120 feet gains temporary hit points equal to the amount Karul lost. While the creature has these temporary hit points, it also benefits from Karul's Unbreaking Wall feature, meaning they also get half damage to every damage type, and they get their AC is equal to all of, at the start of their turn, their AC is equal to all of their physical modifiers.
Karul would be a cool patron, you know, giving that onto their boon.
Yep. All right. Reaction, Protector of All. Whenever a creature within 120 feet who has been given temporary hit points by Karul would take damage, Karul can instead choose to take that damage for them. First time Karul uses the reaction in a round, it does not use the reaction. So, you know, he grants that temp HP to people. He gets the temp HP as well because it gets bounced back onto him. And, you know, they take damage and he goes, no. Allow me, sir.
Let me take that for you. He's actually an excellent support, which is not something I was expecting initially. Yep. He's an insane support.
Yep. Now stack him on with fucking Salome.
Now you want just your players to have a stroke, don't you?
Alright, legendary actions. Karul the Protector can take 3 legendary actions, choosing from the options below. The Great Warding, 3 actions. Karul extends the effects of his Unbreaking Wall feature. All ally creatures within 120 feet gain the benefits of this feature. Any creature which benefits from this effect also gains immunity to any conditions which Karul is immune to until the end of their next turn. So basically, at the start of every creature's turn within 120 feet, they get all their stuff to all their physical score modifiers to their AC, and then gain that much temp HP, and then gain the resistances and stuff. And they gain his condition immunities, so you can't be paralyzed and shit. And if you are, it immediately ends at the start of your turn. So it's kind of just this, like, big... everyone.
He just covers his bros, alright? He throws one back for the homies.
Now we get to the really fucky part. Quell Magic. Any ongoing spell or effect within 120 feet of Karul, which is harmful to himself or allies, or beneficial to enemies, is affected as if by Dispel Magic. Karul rolls.
On a legendary action, so on your turn, I'm gonna set myself up for an ability. No, you're not.
No. Guard, 1 action. Target creature within 120 feet takes the dodge action for free. So he doesn't move.
There you go.
Not move. You dodge. You
move.
Dodge.
He's just screaming dodge at his allies.
Watch out!
He's going to hit you.
There you go, there's our boy Karul. He's a good boy.
You know what? I find it funny that he's actually built as a support. That's a fun inversion. Having him on any other boss creature is just you begging for a TPK, but hit him with a couple, like, weak-ass ads. That's a fight that can happen.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. It's like he's a nasty bugger. Like I write in here, he was fun. I wanted a creature that basically couldn't be killed, but who would also not do great at killing the things attacking him. This is that. Clever parties and groups could still take him down through a bit of trial and error, but who would kill our protector? And then yeah, he's like makes anything else he's with basically unkillable. So it's like fuck. All right, we'll re-engage.
Just take it one bit at a time, I guess.
Yeah. I love these though because like every time I make one of these, I either get like a retweet or a like or like multiples. Like holy shit, people are seeing my shit. Fuck.
Mm.
All right.
People are watching. They enjoy big protecting boy.
Here we go. Yesterday we went with the opposite of change, protection, and stagnation. Today we go with the opposite of trickery, truth, and knowledge. Let me introduce you to Zach, the teacher and guide. Big white burb. Big white burb boy. Burb. So Zach is the aspect beast of divination, and the only aspect beast which is actually an actual beast-type creature. Those who adhere to Zach seek truth and knowledge with a fervor, and often spellcasters artificers. Zach focuses on knowing and casting lots of spells.
Spells.
Spell. So Zach is a colossal beast. Is neutral good. Is an AC of 23, hit points of 545, a speed of 40 feet, walking speed, and a flying speed of 240 feet.
I can't tell what my reactions are because I have very specific ones and my face is limited. I'm just very curious what you're able to read from it.
Nothing. Basically, you're either angry or you're not. You're either angry, surprised, or normal. Like right now, you look constipated a little bit.
You know what? That's actually fair. I am always constipated a bit.
All right. So his intelligence is his primary score at 30, with wisdom and strength as his next two. He has expertise in arcana, history, medicine, nature, religion, basically all the intelligence checks. He knows all. He has resistance to cold, fire, and lightning damage, as well as bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, and he is immune to poison and bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. Pretty standard for these guys. Like, you have to have magical weapons. Most of them can't be poisoned.
You probably shouldn't be fighting a god without magical weapons.
Yeah. Condition immunities, he can't be poisoned, blinded, or charmed. And that's it.
Oh.
Dark vision, 300 feet.
Surprisingly few.
Yeah. Dark vision, 300 feet. True sight, 120 feet. Blind sense, 300 feet. And languages, all telepathic within 1 mile. I speak into your mind.
He does just he tickles your brain a little bit. It's just a friendly tickle though.
I'm here to talk. I just want to talk, you know? Just check you out. It's cool. Aspect of divination. Zok is the living aspect of divination magic. He's a 20th level spellcaster for the purposes of divinating spell slots, and can innately cast any divination spell for which he has spell slots. Divination spells do not require concentration or cast as if using a spell slot of 1 level higher. So, Zok can also cast any spell of 6th level or lower using a spell slot regardless of school. Zok may replace one of its attacks with a 2nd level spell, 2 of its attacks with any number of spells whose total level is 4 or less, or 3 of his attacks with a number of spells whose total level is 6 or less. So he can just
lots of spells.
He can literally just like replace all of attacks with 6 magic missiles. Magic missile. Bombard. That is the idea.
I respect the volume of fire.
Yes. Teacher's knowledge. This is fun. He adds his intelligence bonus to they add their intelligence bonus to their attack and damage rolls. I actually wrote all these intentionally gendered. We're trying to, because they're not like
amorphous animalistic gods, not particularly relevant to gender.
Adds their intelligence bonus to their attack and damage rolls and to their AC. Zok has an additional number of spell slots for each spell level equal to his intelligence minus the spell level. So for 1st level he has 9 additional spell slots, while for 9th level he has 1. Zok can maintain concentration on up to 2 spells at once, and adds their intelligence to ability checks made to maintain concentration. If Zok has cast a divination spell this round, all attacks made against them have disadvantage, and all attacks they make have advantage.
Damn, pray he doesn't use divination. Spoiler alert, he will always be using
He will
divination.
always be using divination. Zach knows any spell with the word "word" in its name and can cast it innately. And this is both because he's knowledgeable, so he like knows words. It's the whole joke, but also bird. The bird is the word. Bird. He's a big bird with the bird. bird. I can hear you getting up and leaving.
You know what? You don't have to. Hey, Forrest, you don't have to hear me getting up and leaving. I'll just get up and leave. Bye. I'm done. I quit. Show's over. You don't unconsensually whip out a fucking Family Guy reference on me. That's very rude of you.
It's not a Family Guy reference. Family Guy reference.
Bird is. Where else did you hear about bird is the word for?
From
you
the
tell
song,
me
bird is the word.
From any other piece of media, you give me a straight answer.
Literally, bird is the word is a song. Bird is the word song.
From not the actual song. Where else would you hear about it? It caused me existential pain. Ugh. Because this is the last one, okay? I can't handle any more of this. This is the last one I can stand.
But I guarantee the other ones are not that bad, alright?
I'm starving! I need to make real food soon! The fabricators are cold.
Alright. We'll save the monster ones for the actual, like, CR5 monsters for later.
Okay.
Alright, so its next feature, Guide the Flock. Allied creatures within 120 feet of Zoc, including Zoc, add 1d4 to all of their ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws. They also gain advantage on any skill checks they make.
Oh, okay. These are all really good god patrons to have. If they're just showing up, aiding you. Ooh.
Superior magic resistance, immune to spells of 3rd level or lower, and advantage on saves against other spells. And effects. Legendary resistance 3 times per day, and flyby. He does not provoke opportunity attacks when flying out of an enemy's reach.
Whee!
Whee! Zoomy. I fly away.
Zoom by incarnate.
Alright.
Fuck you if you ever use opportunity attacks, by the way.
Alright, so Zoc makes 4 attacks, 3 with its beak, and or 1 with its talon, or speaks a word of pain.
Ouch.
So, beak, it's a 21 to hit, reach 15 feet, does 39 piercing damage. It's just 39
Just
piercing
stabs
damage.
you.
Yep. Talons, 21 to hit, reach 15 feet, 1 target, 35 slashing damage on average. Target creature is grappled, DC 23, there's no save against this. Until this grapple ends, the target is restrained, and Zoc can't use their talons on another target. So they grab you and they pick you up. They carry you away.
It's arguably kind of good other than the getting grapple part.
Yep, but he has a replacer for this when he's using that, which is Word of Pain. Recharge 3+. Target creature makes a 26 Constitution saving throw. On a fail, the target takes 50 psychic damage and is paralyzed until the end of their next turn. On a success, the creature takes 25 psychic damage and is not paralyzed.
50, 25. The paralysis is the really bad part here.
Yep.
Because paralysis followed up with he himself can make 4 multi-attacks.
Yep. Now this is included as part of his multi-attack, so kinda nasty. So
Yeah.
bonus actions. Speak the word. Zoc casts a spell with the word word in its name as a bonus action, even if it would normally require an action.
I can just hear you singing Bird is the Word every time I hear this.
Bird is.
You should actually sing it too!
A second bonus action, Whirlwind. Creatures within 30 feet of Zoc must make a Constitution saving throw, DC 23, or be tossed into the air 70 feet and in a random direction, 1d8, to determine direction, 70 feet. They just get flung. Yep.
Professional bitch toss.
Well, he's a big bird and he just flaps his wings and everything just goes... So my carpal tunnel is acting up. Ew.
Oh no.
Alright, reactions. Instruction of the teacher. Whenever a creature makes a roll which gains the benefit of the Guide the Flock feature, Zoc may use its reaction to add 10 to the results of that roll. First time Zoc uses the reaction in a round, it does not use the reaction.
This is Flash of Genius on steroids.
Yeah, it's an amped Flash of Genius. It's exactly what it's meant to be. Yep. Alright, here we go. Legendary actions. Ready?
Oh boy,
You thought he could cast a lot of spells before. Oh, here we go.
I'm looking at the first one already.
3 actions. Zot casts 2 spells of 6th level or lower using the same spell slot. So this is, he casts Fireball at 6th level twice for 1 6th level spell slot. Kind of thing.
And I'm pretty sure he has double normal spell slots, does he not? Was that one of his earlier abilities?
Sort of. He has an additional... He's got more than double, technically, because he gets 10 minus the spell level number of spell slots for each spell level.
He could potentially cast 4 9th level spells, can't he?
2. Or, no, 2, yeah. Because this is limited to 6th level, so he can't cast a 9th level spell 6th level with it.
So anything 6th level and beneath, he doubles those spells.
I intentionally do 6th level or lower for these things, because there are a lot of 7th, 8th, and 9th level spells that just break things really hard with one cast, so... You pretty much never allow people to multicast 6th level spells unless it's like absolutely.
Because just for the memes, he can cast Wish twice.
Yeah. All right. 2 actions. Cast a spell. Zot cast a spell.
2 cast a spell.
This is a very common legendary action in other spellcasters. Like 2 actions, they cast a spell. That's it. That's all they do. Yep.
This is on your turn. Just cast the spell.
Tailwind, 1 action. Zot takes a fly move, which does not provoke opportunity attacks, which already doesn't, so I didn't actually have to include that. Creatures within 5 feet of Zot when they use Tailwind must save against Zot's Whirlwind bonus action. So instead of everything within 30 feet, he just like flaps away and just like, and like the Tailwind picks everything up behind him.
Yeah, just by movement, he triggers Whirlwind, so better do that.
Yep. So I like the idea of like he tailwinds at the end of one person's turn, and somebody else like repositions to get something, and then he casts a spell.
He really is like a hardcore disruptor. Not a lot of potential. Well, yeah, a lot of potential damage if he gets that grapple off, but disruption is really his thing.
Even without that, like 6th level spells of any type, like a 6th level necromancy, he can cast 2 disintegration rays. Basically, like he can be really heavy damage. That's his thing. He's I know. And he is whatever he wants to be for that fucking engagement.
Giga utility.
Yep, he's the utility guy. He's smart boy. And this is why he's the CR24 creature. And after this, I stopped making these guys because I want them all to be generally ranging between CR21 to 24. And I don't want to just make like a guy and then like a CR1 creature, because I would have to do that if I kept doing that.
You made a god! Now here's the CR1 pleb you can also throw it next to him.
Yep. Here's the CR1. The exclusion to this is going to be like on the 30th. I'm going to make a 30th or 31st. Do we have a 31st this one?
November is 30th, I believe.
30th. So on the 30th, I'll make a CR20, like CR22 guy
who's Heritage Day.
Who's the creator, and then make 4 CR2 creatures, which are the ones that he creates. Creator's thing is making other creatures. So.
Oh, that actually does work. That way they come off the same presses.
Yep. Alright, so that is where we're going to go and call it, because you need to go get food. I need to probably eat too before I go to my next stream with my friendos for D&D stuff. Not D&D
You
stuff.
should. You deserve it.
Minecraft stuff. No, not Minecraft. It'd be a party game of some kind tonight. Which, you know, if you're free, we can always do like a party game. You can always join us for that if you've got the game. I don't know what it's going to be.
You know, I should. I honestly should, but I have to eat first.
Well, it's in like a half an hour, so.
Maybe. I'll hit you up if I am free, because it just depends on other things. I spent a lot of time delving deep into the depths of the ship, doing bad programming things that were good for me, bad for my body and my health, so I have to recover now. I'll catch you later, man.
Bye-bye.